We are back from our cruise, and we wanted to sit down and talk to you about our last day, and then we wanted to kind of, at the end of this video, we'll kind of go over things that we would do differently, or if we would go on it again, or what we thought about it overall. But first of all, on our first sea day, before we even got to Key West, we saw this sign. And we thought, that's interesting. There's a tattoo studio on board. That is the first time we've ever seen that. Of course, we haven't cruised in probably 15 years or so.
Who would get a tattoo on a moving boat?
Yeah.
That'd be odd.
First of all. But we're feeling a little spontaneous. And I thought, boy, if we're going to do this, we better book it now because he's probably getting booked up. And if we did do it, we'd want to save it for our last day so we could still go snorkel and do all those fun things. So that's exactly what we did. We went and we had a consultation with him that day, and then we ended up getting a tattoo on our final day at sea. Check it out. Oh boy.
Ready?
Ready. Oh.
Looking good, huh?
Yeah. Over before it even started. That's the quickest tattoo I've ever had in my life.
It's good?
Yeah, looks good. He was such a nice guy. His name's Tony, and he's been tattooing for over 9 years in Bali, and the tattoo shop on board is a very new thing, so he's only been there 2 months. They're just trying it out, but he seemed to be quite popular. So if you do intend to do that, seek it out on the first day so you can book on the last day so you're not having to swim with a new tattoo or something. We weren't sure what to get, but after we thought about it, we're like, that just seems fitting because it's kind of our attitude, and no matter what is going on or what life throws at us, we're just going to keep on trucking.
Carry on.
And the location of it is such a good spot because it's just a constant reminder. I mean, it's on our dominant hand, and so we just always see that.
Oh, I'm taking a drink of soda.
So anyway, that was the one souvenir that we brought back from our trip. So back to the cruise itself, and this was on the Margaritaville Islander. There's different Margaritaville ones, I think, that leave from the East Coast. This was on Tampa. This is the one that leaves out of Tampa on the Gulf Coast. So this is strictly for the Islander.
Mind you, the way this started was when we lost Pistol, we were like, we just wanted to just do something, get away for a minute. And we hadn't cruised for years, but we just thought we lived close to a cruise port. We're an hour and a half from Tampa. Let's just see what's available. See if we can find a great deal on a super short notice. Don't even care where it goes.
Yes.
And this one popped up, and we jumped on it. And
Yeah, and I've mentioned before, this is Veterans Month, and Dave being a veteran, they were offering a great discount for veterans, so we took advantage of that. So we got an even bigger discount, and so we thought, what the heck? So this is a 5-night cruise, 2 full days at sea, and there was a day in Key West and a day in Cozumel. And when we got to Key West, so we had a day at sea and then we were at Key West. And when we got to Key West, we didn't have a plan. We did not book any shore excursions. So we really just got off the ship and kind of walked around aimlessly for a very short period of time and got back on the ship.
It was hot.
In hindsight, I would have booked something or had an activity planned. So we weren't there a very long time, but I think I would have enjoyed that stop better had we had something
gone to a beach,
going
gone
on.
snorkeling, anything.
Anything, really. So in hindsight, I would have done that. Cozumel, we did the dune buggy tour, and if you haven't seen that video, check it out. That was fun. That was really fun. I wouldn't do it a second time, but I'm really glad we did it because we got to see... Cozumel is 100% reliant on tourism, so as you can imagine, there were 5 or 6 other cruise ships in port at the same time we were, so where everybody funnels off, it was just massive retail, shopping and restaurants and all that, and so the dune buggy tour allowed us to go into other parts of the island that we wouldn't have normally seen, and it was much less populated.
Very, very quiet.
Yeah, so I enjoyed being able to actually see what the island looks like, and then Dave having to drive back through town. That was fun. And there were other tours also. There was like a chocolate one where you go into the mountains and make chocolate or something, or you can go see the ruins. Like there were some other things I would be interested in doing there, but again, I don't think that stop for me I'd be particularly interested in if we hadn't booked something, because you just get off and it's just massive tourism, and we probably would have just looked at each other and got back on. We're not big consumers of things, so we aren't looking to shop and we aren't looking to go out to eat. So if that's something you're into, that is definitely somewhere you'd like to go and just get off the ship and wander around, because it's crazy. So overall, I will talk about the food. We ate a couple nights in the beginning in the restaurant, and
had some really good meals.
Yeah.
Whoops.
We did have some really good meals, and then we discovered most of the food that they serve in the restaurant is also available at the same time in the buffet. So we pretty much from then on out just ate upstairs at the buffet, and it was good. I would probably give the food a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, it was fine.
They
had a lot of options, so you could kind of pick and choose, and we're pretty picky on our diet, so we just, I don't know.
We went for the high protein meals and kind of left the salad alone. I don't know, something about salad in a buffet just makes me think I'm gonna get sick, so I stay away from that. So I would say also the food was probably 3.5 out of 5. It wasn't anything to write home about, but it was tasty and it served its purpose. They did have so aside from the restaurant and the buffet, they had a cheeseburger and paradise stand, which was out by the pool, and that was open kind of mid-morning to 6 p.m. And we did eat there a few times. We got a couple burger patties, and it was good. They also had a taco bar kind of open at the same time. We did not end up eating there because there's just mass amounts of food everywhere at any point. They had a pizza station. They had omelets in the morning. Pretty much anything you could want. So they also had a coffee bar, which you pay extra for. But they do have free black coffee. And juice is included.
It's almost worth free.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. I honestly went to the coffee bar and got an Americano twice. Regular prices, though, that I would pay off ship, so it was not really a big deal. And they also had a sushi bar, which was an added fee if you wanted to go visit, and a steakhouse. We didn't participate in either of those, but I bet they were good. And
It's so funny. Everything, like, for Irene, it's always about the food.
Yeah.
Memories. We've been on this video for like 10 minutes. We've been talking about the food on a cruise. It's all about the food.
Yeah. Why? Of course it is.
Like, if we're like trying to remember something that happened, she'll think about the food that we had.
Yeah, I'll try to describe the place to him. I'm like, remember that one place we
Where
went?
we had
We
tacos?
got that scone. Remember that really good scone we had? Yeah, that's how I pin things in my brain on my map with what food was there, or even what we ate in the camper there. So overall, I think for me, by day 3, I would have been fine getting off board. We had a really good time. It was just like, we were to bed by 8 o'clock most every night, or really every night. And most of the entertainment and shows, like the shows they put on, start at 9:30 p.m., which is perfect for that crowd because it's a party crowd. We're just like early to bed, early to rise folks. So we pretty much had the ship to ourselves at 5 a.m. when we got up.
And we used the time on the ship to kind of help prepare for this next adventure that we have planned, that we'll get into more probably next week.
Next video, we'll let you know about that.
It's going to require a lot of time on our feet, and so we made a pact that for the entire time of the cruise, we would not we wouldn't step one foot into an elevator. So we'd always take the stairs, and we walked.
And we did that.
We walked after every meal. And if you've ever been on a cruise, they're usually, like ours was, I think there was 10 stories, 10 floors, and our room was on the 6th floor, and pretty much everything you want to do is on opposite ends of the ship. Like, you'll get up and, your first meal will be on the 9th floor on one end of the ship, and then next thing you want to do is on the 2nd floor on the other end of the ship. And so you're constantly going up and down, and I think we were probably averaging a good 6 miles a day of walking while we're on the boat. And
how many flights of stairs?
I think the most was one day, and only tracked going up the stairs. And I think the way our smartwatches track steps is it must go a distance, because if we went up to go up one floor on the cruise ship, you had to go up 2 flights. But if I went up 3 flights of stairs, it counted like 2 yeah. So anyway, we climbed 67 flights one day, and I can't remember the others. But anyway, it was a great time to just move around. There wasn't a lot to do if you're not into, partying. We did lay around in the sun a little bit.
We did lay around. Now, we didn't get to the drink packages or anything like that, but
it was different. It was interesting to, go from a life of, 8.5 years of almost continually just roaming around in a van or a truck camper, to be on a boat with thousands of people. But I did appreciate the distraction from what was going on, and just to be there and not have to think about planning where we're going to stay or driving there or dealing with traffic. We just did what we want when we wanted, and then we would get to where we're going, and you could do what you wanted when you wanted for 5 days.
Yeah.
But it did make us, I know we've talked a bit about it, but it did, both of us agreed that it made us appreciate our life, that we live a life that we don't need to typically go on a vacation to go get away from, that I would rather be doing what I'm doing than being on a cruise boat any day.
Yeah.
But it was a great change of pace. I don't need to do another one for a long time.
It'd be fun to do with friends or something,
Or if something popped up again while we're in Florida,
sure,
and we just wanted a distraction, and maybe it goes to a port we've never been to before.
Yeah.
That's the one thing
I
about
like that.
a cruise. You can hit some ports and go, explore and see if it's someplace you want to go again. That's how we used to years ago, like 20 years ago. We did some cruises on the West Coast, and we hit a lot of the ports from, Cabo and Mazatlan, Manzanillo, Zihuatanejo, Puerto Vallarta, all those ports. And then other years we really liked Zihuatanejo, so we would just do a Airbnb for a couple weeks and just fly there. So that's one good thing about a cruise. But
yeah. Oh, I do want to mention the staff there were top notch. They get a gold star every time. We had a couple snafus and they just immediately solved all the issues, and they're so attentive, and so yeah, the staff definitely get a 5 out of 5 for me. So yeah, that kind of wraps up our time on the cruise. Now, as he mentioned, next week we'll be back with you and we'll be sharing what our upcoming plans are. It's going to be happening very soon, so stay tuned.
Sorry, I got to say one thing before I forget. Another thing I would do different next time is, one of our subscribers has been with us since the very beginning and comments on all the videos and feel like we know him. But Morton, it goes by Morton the Norwegian, obviously from Norway. But Morton he noticed that I had fishing poles in the back of the truck as we were driving there, and he's surprised we didn't take fishing poles on the cruise ship. And I thought, next time, if you could get a stern room with a balcony on the lower level,
yeah,
I could sneak a big fishing pole in, and at night I could just...
And then what? What if you catch something?
Could I bring it up?
Share it with the room steward and then have him cook it up?
Anyway, that was a good one, Morton. Thanks. Made my day.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, we'll just see you down the road. Talk to you very soon. Carry on.
Carry on.